Humans like to think that we are the strongest predators. And I guess if we have enough time to prepare our weapons and strategies, we are. But what about if animals were to come up behind us and catch us unaware? Would we still be? Probably not. From tigers at the top of the food chain to the fearless polar bear, here are the 15 strongest predators in the wild. Even though their endangered status means that tigers are not the strongest predators by number, they certainly are when it comes to what they're capable of.
Now he's going for his throat. Oh, that's it.
If you were embroiled in a tiger versus human battle without weapons, we know who would come out on top, and it wouldn't be you or I. Tigers are the largest member of the cat family, with the Siberian tiger capable of growing up to 675 pounds. Their size doesn't dictate what they can comfortably kill, though. They are more than capable of taking down something twice their size. They also have no fear, which means even a human that yells loudly won't be enough to stop them from having a taste. And let's not forget their teeth, because they are a feature to be feared. Tigers have jaws so strong that they can crunch through bone and sinew and grind meat down into mince form for swallowing. Because their canine teeth are full of nerve endings, they can also target their prey with precision. In fact, they rely on their canine teeth so much that they would likely starve to death if they were to lose them. Number 14. Hyenas. Hyenas are greatly misunderstood. For some reason, we view them as cowardly, scavenging beasts that are nothing more than pests and destroyers of livestock and food stores. But as it turns out, they are one of the strongest predators in the wild. Sure, they don't have size on their side, but they do have smarts. They have exceptional hearing, brilliant eyesight at night, and can run incredibly fast and for long distances. Most importantly, they strategize. They may not be able to take down a herd animal on their own, given that they only weigh up to 190 pounds, but they know how to isolate a vulnerable animal and work together to bring it down. But once they get it, they will squabble over who gets what. They are known to take down antelope and wildebeest, but they're also quite happy to eat insects, snakes, lizards, and birds. So where does our idea of them being scavengers come into play? Well, sure, they hunt their own prey, but they're also more than happy to dine on other animals' leftovers. Anything is fair game, and they're even wily enough to take food from other animals that aren't quite finished with it yet. Number 13. Gorillas. Gorillas fall into a tricky category when it comes to whether or not they are predators in the wild. They don't actively hunt other animals because they mainly have a plant-based diet. These large primates eat stems, fruits, bamboo shoots, ants, and termites. So if you're an ant or a termite, then you would say they're a danger. Gorillas have also launched attacks on humans before, and they can be pretty violent to each other out in the wild. But if David Attenborough's documentaries are anything to go by, they can be mostly peaceful animals that can live in harmony with others. They live in family groups of 40+ members, and there's usually a dominant male as the leader. If another male tries to approach the group leader will grunt, hoot, and pound his chest. If these actions fail to deter the intruder, he may attack. Sometimes those attacks result in the death of the loser. Attacks on humans can play out similarly. If a human were to fail to recognize the signs of the gorilla, it might result in that human being injured or killed. Number 12. Musk ox. Musk oxen have a plant-based diet consisting of moss, lichen, grass, willows, and woody plants. So if you were to find yourself in musk ox territory, you are not gonna get eaten. But that doesn't mean that you wouldn't get seriously injured. Many animals fear the musk ox because of their strength. Male musk oxen are incredibly aggressive, particularly when it comes to mating and their social hierarchy. The most aggressive in the group will dominate the least aggressive and juveniles until a pecking order is firmly established. But that doesn't mean fights don't break out. Not everyone likes being told what to do. They will ram and charge at each other, which must hurt since they have such hard heads. They mostly live a life free of predators, but they are on the menu for a few animals. Arctic wolves, polar bears, and grizzly bears all fancy the taste of ox meat. Otherwise though, these strong animals definitely hold their own quite well. I mean, they did survive the last ice age, and they also returned from near extinction in North America. If that doesn't say strong, then I don't know what does. Number 11. Wolves. If there's one animal you don't want to come across while you're out exploring the wilderness in North America, it is the gray wolf or timber wolf. This wolf is the largest member of the dog family in the wild, not to mention one of the strongest. Don't let its small size and 100-pound weight fool you. It has massive teeth, a powerful jaw, and incredibly strong senses that allow it to pursue prey tens of miles away. They also have an enormous territory of up to 1,200 miles, which means it would be easy enough to stumble into somewhere you shouldn't be. Fortunately, they mostly do all they can to avoid human interaction. In areas populated by humans, gray wolves mostly move around and hunt at night. This is bad news for animals on their menu, which are mostly sleeping at night. Deer, caribou, musk oxen, moose, bison, elk, and bighorn sheep can all be their preferred meal of choice. Some wolves will even fish for salmon or consume an entree of beaver or hare. Even though humans are more than capable of surviving a wolf encounter, it is not worth the risk. Number 10. Leopards. If you happen to stumble across a leopard in Africa, Central Asia, India, or China, you've got 3 choices: run, hide, or stand still. Even with those 3 options, though, these predators may just come out triumphant. Leopards are as powerful as they come. While they look comfortable enough speeding through jungle environments, they are equally as comfortable navigating their way through trees. They not only drag their prey into trees to eat it away from scavenging hyenas, but even use the trees as a hiding spot to pounce on prey. There's just no escaping them. They stalk deer, pigs, and antelope, and even try their luck on humans and dogs in human settlements. As they're also strong swimmers, not even crabs or fish are safe from these ravenous predators. Fortunately, unlike many other predators in the wild, leopards aren't pack animals. You aren't at risk of being outnumbered by a large group of leopards ready to make you dinner. Instead, cubs will live with their mothers for up to 2 years before they go out on their own. Number 9. Polar bears. TV shows, TV ads, books, and movies have all portrayed polar bears as these cute, cuddly critters that wouldn't hurt a fly. Even seeing them in documentaries minding their own business can shield you from the fact that they are dangerous predators. Polar bears live in the Arctic region and regularly travel long distances just to feast on their primary prey, the seal. They don't have any known natural predators of their own, and they also have no fear of humans. This combination of features makes them an incredibly dangerous predator that we should fear. In saying that, they should also fear themselves. Males will sometimes kill other males if they are competing for a mate. There have also been instances where a male has killed a female who was protecting her cubs. The reasons for this aren't clear, but extreme hunger could be a factor. Malnourished male and female polar bears may also eat their newborn cubs to curb their hunger. Changes in sea ice causing less access to prey may play a part in why this happens, as can oil spills leading to contaminated food sources. Number 8. Lions. It's not hard to see why lions are amongst the world's strongest predators. They can run at speeds of up to 60 kilometers an hour and can take down animals much larger than themselves with their powerful claws and teeth. Even though they have to be smart hunters because they can't run for long periods, they are skilled at taking down all manner of animals with minimal effort. They eat buffaloes, crocodiles, giraffes, rhinos, hippos, zebras, even young elephants. If they choose to feast on small animals, they simply ankle tap them to catch up to them and quickly take them down. If they can't be bothered catching their own food, they'll steal it from other animals and even bully them into giving it up. As you can imagine, not too many animals would be willing to say no to a massive, strong lion. It also doesn't help that the lions themselves don't have predators. Nothing will hunt them down to kill them. In saying that, they do have competitors. Cheetahs and hyenas will regularly compete for food and even try and steal their kills. Number 7. Eagles. Eagles may not seem that strong. They're birds, after all, and your cat might bring those in all the time. But have you ever seen an eagle in action? They're a force to be reckoned with, and I would not want to be on the wrong side of one. These giant birds of prey have heavy heads and beaks with broad wings that allow for fast flight. Their beaks are also hooked, which means they have no problem ripping flesh apart. Thanks to their powerful talons and muscular legs, once they hone in on a target, they have enough get up and go to take them with them. In fact, the bald eagle has flown with the heaviest load ever verified, which was a 6.8 kilogram or 15-pound mule deer fawn. What they eat can depend on the type of eagle they are, as there are around 60 species from Eurasia to Africa. Some eat fish and water birds, while others prefer snakes. Eagles that live in forests and woodlands tend to dine on birds and ground-dwelling animals, essentially anything that's easy enough to take down. One thing they all have in common, though, is that they are apex predators. Number 6. Great White Shark. Sharks didn't feature as the theme of Jaws because they were meek and mild. That's pretty obvious by looking at them, let's be fair. The great white shark is an aggressive predator, and that's to put it mildly. They are among the fastest swimmers in the ocean, even with their muscular bodies and mouths full of teeth. As a result, almost nothing is out of reach for the great white shark to dine on. They can grow up to around 20 feet long, weigh several tons, and are the kings of the ocean. No human, fish, or sea mammal is safe. In the shark's defense, though, it never actually sets out to maim humans. Sometimes they go in for a curious bite and then realize the human is not their snack of choice. Given the ferociousness of their bite, though, it can take just one to kill someone. Because they live in coastal and open oceans around the world and don't care whether they live in tropical or cold waters, no one and nothing is safe. You would easily categorize the great white shark as one of the world's strongest predators. Number 5. Killer whales. Orcas, or killer whales, are among the most powerful predators in the world. They live in every single ocean and are closely related to dolphins. To be fair, though, they are not the vicious killers that their name suggests. Their name was actually given to them by ancient sailors who had watched them prey on larger whale species. Yes, they eat whales larger than themselves, but they actually aren't picky. They're what you call generalist eaters, which means they're just as happy eating sea lions, dolphins, and fish as they are seals, squid, and seabirds. And notice that humans weren't on that list? Sure, their size, weight, and name make them scary, but wild orcas have never killed anyone. Attacks are also rare. That's not to say that they aren't capable, though. They are predators, after all. Orcas have incredibly coordinated hunting tactics and can travel at speeds of over 54 kilometers an hour. They can also cover about about 160 kilometers a day. This is quite surprising when you consider that they can weigh up to 5,400 kilograms and measure up to 7 or 8 meters long. Number 4. Saltwater crocodiles. It doesn't take an animal expert to realize that saltwater crocodiles are not reptiles to get up close and personal with. Not only do they look terrifying, they are terrifying. These predators are the world's largest living reptiles, and they can grow up to around 5 meters long while weighing up to 500 kilograms. The longest ever recorded saltwater croc was over 6.3 meters long, and male salties have weighed up to 2,000 kilograms. Given their size, you may not think they could outrun a human. After all, they are at their strongest in the water. But the answer is yes, they can. For at least a short period, they can achieve a pace of up to 14 kilometers an hour. If you're not fit or wearing the right footwear, it's going to be a close race. In saying that, their diet consists primarily of birds, non-human mammals, and fish. They also eat other crocodiles, but it's not their first choice. How they consume their prey is both frightening and impressive at the same time. They perform a death roll, which is where they roll over in the water as they clamp down on their prey. The motion allows them to rip off limbs and flesh, since their teeth are primarily designed for gripping rather than tearing. Number 3. Anacondas. It doesn't matter whether you're dealing with a dark-spotted, yellow, green, or Bolivian anaconda, they are all amongst the strongest predators in the world. It may sound a little absurd given that they don't have legs, but anacondas have plenty of other aces to play. First of all, they are massive. Around 30 feet long, or 9 meters, and weigh upwards of 550 pounds, or 250 kilograms. They are also quite good at hiding. They live in marshes, slow-moving streams, and swamps around the Amazon rainforest, and can sneak up on their prey without them even realizing it. Given their size, you may think these snakes have an impressive bite to kill their prey, but that is not how they kill at all. Instead, they are able to kill deer, birds, wild pigs, jaguars, and other large animals by coiling their bodies around them and crushing them to death. Once they've been successful, their stretchy jaw ligaments allow them to swallow their prey whole. Depending on the size of their prey, they may not have to eat again for weeks or months. So I guess the best time to sneak up on an anaconda is right after it's just eaten a reasonably rotund deer. Number 2. African wild dogs. The dog lovers among us may be wondering how an African wild dog could possibly be a strong predator. Don't you just want to boot their noses and let them cuddle up on your bed? But don't let their looks and dog-like features fool you. African wild dogs are really not to be messed with, and they have a prey list as long as your arm. They are the largest wild canines in Africa, weighing up to around 80 pounds and measuring up to 44 inches in their head and body length. They also live in packs with hierarchies for males and females. The way in which they bring down their prey is really quite mean, too. Because they don't have power and strength to incapacitate their victims instantly, they play the long game. They will chase them until they're at the point of exhaustion and then make their move. Often, their target is antelopes. However, these dogs aren't at the top of the food chain. Lions often kill them, and hyenas will steal their food. They always have to be on their guard. Number 1. Hippopotamuses. The board game Hungry Hungry Hippos really has a lot to answer for. If we didn't do our homework, it would be easy to assume that you are entirely safe if you were to come across them in the wild. All they want to do is eat little colored balls of food, right? Well, they are grossly underestimated. Hippos are the 3rd largest land mammal, weighing over 3,000 pounds, but still being capable of running at a speed of up to 30 kilometers or 19 miles per hour. But looking at them, you might assume that they are reasonably calm. They spend their days wallowing in mud, relaxing in water, or exploring mangrove swamps. But threaten them, get near their young, or interrupt them during their mating season, and you'll soon learn what they are capable of. They are considered one of the most dangerous animals in the world because of how unpredictable and aggressive they can be. Don't believe us? Well, just ask any human who's witnessed an attack or has been attacked, if you can find someone alive. In 2014, they were responsible for the deaths of 13 people after capsizing their boat.